I still remember that day when I went down the building, I sat down on the stairs and I started crying. Started crying because I knew I'm gonna change my life for the rest of my life. I knew that whoever doubted me or, tried to trash my reputation or just tried to put me in a tough time, that they were wrong.
Anthony Joseph, a prominent figure in the vibrant Dubai landscape of real estate. As a CEO of Prime Stay, the largest and most innovative holiday homes company in the UAE, as well as the associate partner of Provident Real Estate and the founder of Anthony Joseph Consultancy. He has not only spearheaded groundbreaking initiatives, but has also redefined the standards of customer service and investment guidance in the region. You really had a rough one. What was the biggest lesson in it?
My biggest lesson was...
Welcome back, Alphas, to a new inspiring episode of the Alpha Talks podcast. Today in the studio, I've got a very special alpha for you today. Anthony Joseph, a prominent figure in the vibrant Dubai landscape of real estate. Welcome for Anthony in the Alpha Talks podcast, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's a great introduction. It's something beautiful.
It's an
Thank
honor.
you. I don't know even how I'm gonna say anything after that. You just killed it in the intro.
It's really an honor having you today. So, Anthony, let's say before we start, somebody will look at the podcast once we publish it. We'll look at the thumbnail.
Yeah.
We'll see the title. They will be interested for sure. What can we promise them that they will gain if they give us their time today?
All of the knowledge in the world, the actual practice on the field, and that is the actual stuff that being practiced. So definitely I'm just gonna share my expertise, which I've been sharing it anyway on all of my social media. I've never hidden anything.
Cool.
From the smallest deal to the biggest deal about managing buildings or managing
And even you're
studios.
sharing your story with the ups and downs, and that's the most
Definitely,
important
yeah,
thing.
you have to.
So tell us, who's Anthony in the beginning? Who's Anthony? If you can tell who's Anthony in a nutshell.
How many hours we have?
Go ahead as much in a nutshell, and I will dig. But what are the things?
Just like I'm gonna tell you how it all started in a brief. So I was like 29 years and few months, and this is where I felt like, I had enough of justifying my failures, justifying me sleeping 5-6 a.m. and waking 4-5 p.m. And I was living in Lebanon back then, and I was like, I always blamed the family, blamed my friends, blamed the world except myself. And then I realized the point where like, you know what? Okay, you've been blaming for 9-10 years. Come on. It's about time to change.
Yeah.
So I felt like there was no opportunity where I was, like an actual strong opportunity to stand out and make myself. So I said, you know what? You're not a tree. You're a man. You have legs. Stand up. Go look for the
Move.
future. Discover. Become a Christopher Columbus. I don't know.
But something happened to you to make this transition moment.
I was
Literally.
disgusted from the fact that I'm just doing the same repetition by me, just like partying all night, sleeping all day, waking up, feeling terrible, never went to gym. The food was junk all the time, burgers, pizzas, all of this stuff. You know what I mean? So I felt I'm not respecting myself anymore. And if I want to stay here, I know I can live like that for the rest of my life, but we're giving this gift as a life. And it kind of hit me, and I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna travel. I'm gonna see where do I fit. I want to see what's my passion, because I didn't know what's my passion.
You didn't know at all what's your
I
passion.
have no idea. I've always been a salesman all of my life. Since I was a kid, I was sending my parents, I want the bicycle, I want the, I don't know, Sega, the Nintendo, whatever, you know what I mean? But I've never knew the capabilities I have because I wasn't put in the right environment. My environment was showing me that it's okay to be like
party,
that.
it's great,
There is
yeah.
no urgency of changing. It's fine. All of my friends were like me, still doing the same stuff. No one was having like a serious relationship, like engaged or married or having kids. So I felt it was all right. This is kind of our mentality. Like it's okay. As long as you're happy, it's fine. And when they say happy, they were like, you're healthy, you have your bare minimum needs.
True.
This is happiness, which was not at all.
A quick note, I find this incredibly intriguing. On the back end of our YouTube channel, it says around 75% of you who watch this channel frequently over the lifetime of this channel haven't yet hit the subscribe button, I just wanted to ask you for a favor. It helps this channel so much if you choose to just subscribe. It helps us invite guests that give you great value. It helps us scale the production and as well makes this show bigger and bigger for you. And if you enjoyed the previous episodes and you're currently enjoying this episode, could you please hit the subscribe button? I love your support. It's incredible to see all your comments and engagement. And we are just starting. Thank you so much, and I will repay this gesture by making sure that everything we do on this show makes it bigger, bigger, and better. I'm committed to do this promise. Do we have a deal? Thank you so much for subscribing. It means the world to me.
Then you decided to move.
Yeah.
Because you said a very nice quote, which actually Jim Rohn said, we're not trees. If you want to move, move.
Move, you have legs, move.
Why Dubai?
It wasn't on the plan, to be very honest with you. I have a family member, I have an uncle in here, and I haven't seen him for like almost 15, 20 years. And so he was like, man, I have kids now, you have nephews, and you haven't seen your nephews, you should come visit. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. So I just packed a small bag and came here for a week to see him. The second went from the airport, we went to Sheikh Zayed Road. I was like, whoa, there's
And that
something.
was how many years back?
That was 9 years and 1 week ago.
Boo. You remember it very well.
Of course. I will never forget that. 23rd of October, it's like kind of sweet and bitter. It's sweet because it's the day that I came here. It's bitter because it's my father's birthday that passed away a few years back. So that day always gives me that mixed emotion. I'm happy I made it, but it has a very bad memory in me. So yeah, I came here. Once we went to Sheikh Zayed Road, I felt, and back then Dubai was not like now, come on, let's be real. But still, I had the feeling this is glorious. It's so beautiful. It's so neat. It's so clean. And I smell an opportunity in here. We didn't do anything, went straight to home, slept. The next day, went to the beach, and it was the first time where I entered a beach and the water was warm. And I'm like, what is this sorcery? You know, there must be something in here. Like, it was end of October, man.
Yeah,
Come
true.
on. Always been doing sales and stuff. You know, this city is well known for real estate. You should apply for jobs. And I'm like, really? He was like, yeah, listen, what do you have to do is let's just
But back home, you were working in sales as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, since you started, you're in sales.
Yeah. I'm telling you, since I was born, I was in sales. It's not like since I started. Since I was born, I was in sales. However, didn't have the expertise for Dubai or the real estate market in Dubai. So we just prepared the CV. We uploaded it on the Bizzle back in the days, and the Bizzle used to feed all of the companies. You know, in those days. That was Friday. Saturday, I was getting the phone calls on his phone because I didn't even have phone.
Right away.
And they were inviting me to come Sunday to the office because back then Sunday was a working day.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, I started going to companies. They all look super flashy, clean, big, but it didn't give me a nice feeling. I felt like it's too fancy. Why would it be so fancy for a real estate company? There must be something in it. Until I went to Google and I Googled what are the top 10 companies in Dubai, and I picked number 6, which was Provident Estate. And I went started forcing and meeting.
No way.
Forcing myself on them.
You're still with them.
Yes, of course. If you know me, you know that I'm the most loyal person in life. Just like once I pick what I like, I'm there for lifetime. I don't change. Like you cannot even giving me a salary or a share in a company, which I will say, oh, okay, you know what, this is better for me. I will leave my roots. No, I'm just straightforward person. I like everything straight.
You became an associate partner, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, like there is way. Okay, so you grow as no one, then you become a senior, then you will become associate director or a manager, and you end up to be a partner because that's the ceiling.
True.
Like,
But been 9 years. Like,
yeah,
wow.
of course. So yeah, I joined them. I forced myself in that company, and so I got the job. The job interview was 5 minutes. They were like, okay, we're like, you come, you can start on Sunday, and I'm like, okay, great. And I felt so enormous, so beautiful. I still remember that day when I went down the building. I sat down on the stairs and I started crying. Because I knew I'm gonna change my life for the rest of my life. I knew that whoever doubted me or, tried to trash my reputation or just tried to put me in a tough time, that they were wrong. I actually had it in me, but my environment was not allowing me to grow mentally or even physically. No one was pushing us to go train.
True.
Training was like, oh, look at this guy, he's preparing all winter so he can flex in the summer. So for us, it was something bad. It wasn't something, you know what I mean? The real estate market was not in the perfect condition. Back then, it wasn't like now. Like now, as a company, we invest so much into practice and knowledge and applications. And so back then, they were like, congratulations, you have a job. That's your desk. Go call.
Go enjoy.
Call who? Don't worry, you will find out. Okay, I'll call X, but to say what? Don't worry, you'll figure it out. I'm like,
Totally this way.
that's what's it.
And it was top companies at that time.
Yeah.
But tell me more about this couch surfing. You couch surfed a lot.
Let me tell you how it went. So when I started, we were what? 4,500 brokers. There was lots of availability. It was just like the downfall after the Arabic Spring, because when the Arab Spring started, there was lots of relocation to Dubai. And back then, there was not much stock available. So the properties start jumping. Automatically, all of the landlords just increased 25% without any solid foundation, just on the announcement. So the prices shot and there was no one taking it. And it was like that, dipping. So when I came in the market, it was like here. So it's like when I call someone, it's like, hey, I'm calling you regarding this. And they're like, man, stop. Then don't talk to me about real estate. You know, it's dying. The city is dying and this. And I'm like, okay, there is so much hate about this topic. So now my job is not to sell real estate. My job is to convince people.
Justify
but in order
it.
for me to convince people, I need to have facts. And the facts are stating that, yeah, it went up without any logic. So definitely it's going down. So I cannot sell. So I was walking in JBR. I remember it very carefully. I was looking at the buildings left and right, and I saw this huge banner. I will not mention the name, but it's one of the biggest hotel apartments in the countries. I'm here to check any apartments. Do you have availability? They were like, yeah, what do you want? I'm like, let me see the 1 bed and let me see the 3 bed because my family might fly and live with me. Back then, I had 1 pair of jeans, 4 shirts, 1 kicks. That's all what I had. Nothing else. Nothing, zero. So I saw these flats and actually they were looking very nice. And I got the same feeling that I got on Sheikh Zayed Road and I got in Providence. Same feeling was telling me that's the place. I'm like, okay. So I went down. I'm like, is the sales director around? They were like, yeah. I'm like, can I see him? Do you have an appointment? No. Yeah, it doesn't work this way. He's busy. No problem. I'll wait for him. And I sat down. 1 hour passed, 2 hours passed. The guy was curious. Like, who's this guy waiting for? What does he want from me? You know what I mean? So he just like, I saw his head moving. I looked at him and smiled. He came to me and he was like, who will sit in a lobby, wait for me for 2 hours? I'm like, listen, I'm here to change your life. So he was like, okay, let's have a coffee. We sat down. He's like, what do you do? I'm like, I'm a real estate broker. He was like, oh,
Shit,
fuck.
another one.
Another one of those. He's like, what do you want? I'm like, listen, I saw the building. I love it. I'm gonna take it exclusive.
No way.
Swear. And he burst laughing. He's like, do you know who we are? I'm like, not really, but you kind of have a good taste. I like your furniture. We started laughing. He was like, listen, you're a cool guy. It's so much fun to spend time with you, but it's a business. We don't work this way. I'm telling you 1000%, we're gonna reject you. However, go make a proposal, take an appointment and come see me. And next time, maybe you wear a suit. I'm like, okay. I didn't have money to buy a suit, man. I'm like, so I went, open Google, how to make a proposal. And I started looking. And of course, you will not get the perfect formula. So I made a proposal, took an appointment, went to see him second time, reject me. Third time, reject me. Fourth time, reject me. I'm like, okay. With this guy, if I'm gonna bring him 1,000 proposals, he's gonna reject it. I have to change the way. Then I'm like, how to make him believe me is like by showing him that I have clients.
Exactly.
So I started going to the buildings that's surrounding those, talking to the guards, the security. getting Hardee's, because downstairs there was Hardee's and KFC, bag of Hardee's, bag of KFC. Hey man, you look hungry, come eat, And I started talking to them. So the security guards, they will have the list of the vacant units because everyone which is filling an apartment, they have the emergency contact details. So I'm like, listen, man, give me the landlord's number. I will talk to them and I will start renting these units. Any rent I will make, I will give you 500 dirhams. Any sale I will make, I will give you a few thousand. Don't know how much I will make. And he started doing it. So I was getting the stock and I was listing. Upon having listings, automatically you will have phone calls.
Exactly.
So people were calling me to view. So I go there to show them the empty building and say, listen, you have the best price. You don't believe me? Come see this building. It's next door. It's 60,000 more, 80,000 more, 100,000 more.
And you take them over there.
And I would take them over there and I made sure that I always walk next to his office because he was on the ground floor. So he was seeing me every day, coming with 2-3 clients. He was like, you know what? Maybe this guy is the real deal. So I was closing next to him and I did a deal in his building. And then he was like, you know what? Come sign your exclusivity.
Good.
And everyone was like, no way. Because when I told them what I'm doing, they were like, man, who are you? Everyone was saying it's not going to happen. And I kept my stubbornness until I got it.
But why? How did you see, how did you get this stubbornness, resilience, perseverance? Dubai is not a small city at the end. Why you kept knocking on this particular? What did you see?
Because I wanted.
You envisioned something.
I wanted. That's it. I wanted. I saw the opportunity. I'm like, everyone in the market is doing the same boring, stupid stuff by calling people. Hey, sir, do you want to buy? Hey, sir, do you want to rent? Hey, sir, do you want to sell? It cannot be this way. I must find something else. And I found this untouched virgin industry, which was the hotel apartments. Like, happy days. Let me rule it.
Took you how long?
To take that exclusivity?
Yeah.
3 months.
Knocking every day.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. They were trashing me. I was like, I didn't even care. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna take it.
At all. So you don't deal. How do you deal with rejections as Anthony in general?
To be very honest, recently for the past few years, I don't get rejected because
Early.
I know where to present myself. So it's like, but before I didn't care. Man, what's rejection? Someone telling you, no, I'm not interested. So what? You will be interested
There's a
tomorrow.
lot of people who listen to us. Of course, one of the biggest failure is the fear of rejection. But you going to the guy, waiting for him 2 hours, knocking on his door again and again and again, there is something in you.
I was in the survival mode. I didn't have money, didn't have friends, didn't have anything. I was just alone in this mega city.
Make it or break it.
And I'm looking, is like, you don't see a similar, Dubai doesn't have an identity. You see Indian, Pakistani, American, French, blah, blah, blah. So I was looking like I'm in the whole world and the whole universe by myself, looking like, what's happening? I have no other choice. Like, I didn't go into details, but I reached a point where I couldn't afford food or shit. And
it was tough.
It was hell. I was looking at the sky. I'm like, if that's the end, thank you for everything. Seriously.
So you want to say that to be successful, you have to pass through hell?
No, you have to do whatever it takes to make it. Whatever it takes is something walking in the kindergarten, do it. But if you have to go through hell, also do it.
What made you choose real estate then? Or it was the opportunity in Dubai?
To be very honest, it's just like because I've been told that this is one of the biggest industries
and
in
you
the
fell
city.
in love with it.
I'm a salesperson. Dubai sells itself, man. It doesn't need us to sell. We sell the lifestyle. We sell the laws. We sell the rules and regulation. We don't sell properties. This property will sell itself. Don't think that needs me to sell it. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's why I jump in it. And once I got the feeling of it and how to evolve from regular people to millionaires, then to centimillionaires, then to billionaires, I'm like, wow, everything I learned in my life was
But your
bullshit.
life started here with
of course.
couch hopping. You kept going through friends, sleeping from one couch to another, and
Not
then you
really.
reached
I'll tell
this
you what
level.
happened. It was the rise. Then I had a dramatic fall. It was the second fall that made me jump from a couch to another. So going back to that, I reached a day where after 60 days, I didn't have any money, like nothing left. So all what I had under my name was an iPhone 5C. the plastic iPhone. It was the first time they make that seal. So I went in here in the shop. I'm like, hey, buddy, I want to sell it. It's like, yes, I will give you 350 dirhams or whatever. Anyway, I sold it. I paid that 50 for something I cannot recall. So I was left with 300 dirhams. And I divided it. 300 dirhams, I have to survive 30 days. How? Metro is 5 dirhams. Almaya cheese sandwich, 5 dirhams. So the cheese sandwich, because it's split in half, so I'll have one for lunch, one for dinner. So I'm like, that's everything under my name. Those 300 dirhams, okay? I was going to the office making calls. So those days, let's say sometimes I have a meeting at 6 p.m. In order for me to reach it, I have to leave the office by 3:30 or 4 maximum because I need to walk a lot, then to go to the metro, then to go down, walk a lot. So I used to do it. Some guys never showed up. Some guys, I called them, hey, I'm here. Like, how long you take? He was like, who's this? I'm like, you little lowlife. He didn't even save my number. He took an appointment. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I didn't have it easy. I felt like every day was God punishing me. And I was like, why? Why you're doing this to me? But back then, it was a punishment. Later on, I discovered that he chose me. He knew I'm a tough soldier. And there was like, you need to live how you deserve. But first, let me mold you and shape you to what you should be.
Right now.
After 26 days, when I had only 40 dirhams to my name, I did my first rental. That was between me and a different company. So it was split into 4 because we split with the company, he split with his company. Anyway, I ended up to be having $500-$600. And my brother, I felt like an emperor. I'm gonna eat chicken. I'm gonna go buy a shirt. I'm gonna change my shoes. I wanna do this. And so I felt like an emperor. And from then I said, never broke again. So after 6-7 months that life was good, especially after getting that exclusivity, I was doing well. I took my first studio, got the driving license, then I rented my Hyundai Accent, which for me was a Lambo or a Rolls Royce, you know. So I was like, I'm set, life is good. And this is where I decided to immerse myself into learning, reading books, and just being knowledgeable as much as possible.
But at this period of time, if you remember it now, what was the biggest lesson in it? That even you advise people, you really had a rough one.
You are not a man until you move away from your mother. As long as she's helping you in anything, from a simple task of doing you a sandwich or to folding your clothes, you're not a man, you're a kid. Number 2, you're no one. The world is so big, they can step on you in seconds and no one will even recognize who you are. So it doesn't matter where you are in life. Even if you are up in the skies, stay humble. You're breathing the same oxygen and you're gonna sleep same as everyone else. So it doesn't matter where you are in life. Make sure you always treat people with respect. And number 3, my biggest lesson was, doesn't matter who wants you or who wants to get you. They can take everything that you have, but they will never take what's in your mind and in your character.
Love this one.
That's it.
Love this one.
This is what I learned from life.
Love this one. Let's move a little bit to your companies now.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
No.
From a company's perspective? Because you have an interesting thing. You have companies that supplement and complement each other.
Yes.
Your business model is very interesting. So can you talk a little bit about it?
Long story short, every time I wanted to use a company, the service was shit. But that's the long story short.
And it's all related.
All related services.
Yeah.
And always I said, oh, okay, I use this company as shit. I keep whining that all of the services are not good. Why don't you make a better service? So I jumped in it. Zero experience. Same as real estate. Zero experience in anything. Sit down on my laptop, going to YouTube.
Understanding it.
All night until I pass out. That's it. I was obsessed. Like, brother, to be very honest with you, I can tell you I was being awake for 17 hours between work and learning and 7 hours sleeping. That's it. Nothing else.
And it took you a long time.
Of course.
What's your favorite now? So you do a real estate, I would say, sales and marketing. You do holiday homes. You have all the services, the maintenance and property management.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
Holiday home.
Why?
Was my biggest challenge.
Your biggest challenge. What was the challenge in it?
Man, hospitality, you need to learn this in a university and practice years in life. You just don't pick it up from YouTube. It's different.
True.
I loved how stuff works, but I left it at 2017 because I felt it's becoming my comfort zone. I'm not doing anything. I'm just picking up the phone, linking people together, taking money on it. Maybe I should leave it to go to sales because it's a different challenge. So I did, and I went to sales. The word terrible is an understatement of my first year. It's an understatement, you know, like I cannot find the word. How messed up I was in sales. I didn't get people, I didn't get mentalities, I didn't get investors, I didn't get anything. I was like, this is a jungle, man.
And
What
how
have
long
I
it
done?
took you this when you got nothing but you kept after it? How long?
3 years and few months.
Oof.
I'll tell you what, so I was like, man, I'm so stupid. I let go of almost 50 to 60,000 dirhams a month. What a moron, man. What a stupid move. But you
But
cannot go
leave
out.
it. True.
Then I'm like, okay, you know what? You've been through a lot,
It-
man. You know, it's not
It's
gonna
gonna
be
pass.
it, you know. So I started learning. I started going on YouTube, putting brokers and
You know how many
mistakes.
times you mentioned YouTube?
Yeah.
You learn a
Wallah,
lot.
YouTube, it's
True.
it's my university.
True.
It's everything. Like I learned in YouTube trading, man. I learned everything on YouTube.
True.
Like if you see the amount of time I spent, I don't watch TV. I watch
Done.
podcasts.
Yeah.
I swear I don't. I like it. Anyhow, so I really, yeah, got myself into this. I'm like, okay, what does it mean to leverage on your money? Okay, Google it. How is it done? How is it done? Start following people. And then I'm like, okay, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for sales to start making difference. So I started looking how to do marketing differently, even though I was a salesperson. So marketing, we have a team that they send everything. And I got to learn about something called MailChimp. And MailChimp, but I'm talking 2017, man.
Yeah.
It was magic.
True.
Wow. And I'm a person that by default, by nature, I know how to promote without promoting. Like I know how to use words to
Word.
press your buttons for you to say, okay, what's this? I want to find out more. So I was doing this and I was getting lots of leads, calling them, closing them, doing this and that. I'm like, I figured the key. It's easy. It's not that hard. But before I wasn't equipped mentally to talk to these guys. April 2018, before getting to this, you remember when you were saying about the couch humping?
Yes.
That was Q1 2018.
Wow.
The shittiest time of my life. So I decided to go spend New Year's in Lebanon. Like, where else to party,
Exactly,
man, and
yeah,
have the
Beirut,
snow and the
exactly,
mountain.
yeah.
It was perfect. So I went there. I had 30,000 dirhams with me, and I knew the receivables were almost 150. So I'm like, okay, I can go spend it. I'm coming. There's a 150. Happy days. Went there, spent
Done.
everything, came back maybe with 1,000 or 2,000 dirhams, $500. Came here, so I was supposed to rent a house, but for some reason the developer delayed the handover for 2 years. So I called the landlord. I'm like, hi, listen, I know that my lease is finished, but sorry, delayed it for 2 months. So I just need an extension of 2 months. I will pay you all up front, but I will leave instead of Jan, I will leave in March. He was like, no, I'm sorry. We agreed and I
way.
cannot break the contract. I'm like, even if I pay you more, even I didn't have any money. He was like, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like, okay, thank you anyway. Took the car. Back then, I had an BMW X6 that I bought on a mortgage. Took the car and just went outside, and I hear this mega sound. The transmission broke and shit. Send it to tow it to the garage. The guy calls me. He's like 18,000. I'm like, keep it, keep it, keep it. Called my friend, what's the cheapest car rental out there in Dubai? Kia Picanto 1,200. Please bring me one. How long you need it? I'm like, it's an open contract. Leave it. I don't know, man. I don't know. Don't ask me this. Like, I just came and I felt life is falling apart, like by the hour, not by the day. Okay, got the Kia Picanto. Start looking for homes. Everyone wants 2 checks, 3 checks. So I need to come up with 40, 50,000 immediately. But there was a kind of a merge in the businesses, and the trade license and the bank account froze. So the money that was paid from the developers are going to that account, but because it's frozen, I cannot take the money out. So I'm like, okay, I'm totally fucked.
I'm done.
What to do? I don't know. I don't know what to do. And I always have it in me. I will never call you, tell you, give me money. Never. Even if I'm, I don't know, licking the floor, I will never ask you for it. So I slept in the car the first night, and the Kia Picanto. It's not even a car. It's an advanced bicycle. Yeah.
Tuk-tuk.
So I slept in it. Second day, I spoke to a friend of mine. I slept in his house. Then I moved to another friend's house. But that time, I was working like an animal. Over 300 calls a day, really pushy on people, like really pushy. So all of the effort I put, it paid off in April. I did 19 sales for 19 individual people. It's not like one guy who bought 19. 19 clients. I exploded it. I got 680,000 dirhams. Just like that. So when I was doing the celebration in the office and stuff, the CEO came, whispered in my ear, like, Tony, congrats, but you have to maintain it. I'm like, why? It was like, because people will say you got lucky. Like, really? Okay. Still happening to the date. To the date.
Exactly.
So yeah, that was it. And I said, you know what? I don't want to be naked anymore. I don't want to be hungry anymore. I don't want this shit. So all of the money I was making, I was investing it into real estate.
And it's affecting you till now in your decisions.
Of course. Nothing makes me happier more than buying a house.
Done.
But man, nothing gives me satisfaction as buying a house. Always buy properties. For me, if you don't invest into real estate, either you don't have the financial literacy or you haven't really been exposed to what financial freedom means. You can be a stock trader, you can be a crypto trader, you can tell me whatever you want.
Nothing beats real estate.
Nothing beats real estate. And I'm not saying in the volume that the amount you can make, I am saying by the stability
Security.
that makes you in your life. You'll be stable. You are standing on solid ground.
I was always telling my partners, the only thing that helped me in my life, in my downs, was actually only it's real estate, nothing else.
People need to live somewhere.
At the end of the day, true.
Make sure you're providing the service.
True.
Yeah.
True.
But they need to sleep somewhere.
To access.
Make sure you're the landlord collecting that money.
I would say you are a real estate guru. And with the services and the companies that you have, let's say that I'm an investor and I'm new to Dubai. I'm really into real estate by knowing that it's the right investment to do. And I say like, I have $1 million dirham. What can I do with $1 million dirham? And how can it sustain to me?
Before, it doesn't matter what you have or what you're gonna buy. Before doing anything, we have to sit down and look at the strategy. Are you coming in, you wanna buy something that you want to flip? Are you coming in as a midterm investor between 3 to 5 years? Are you coming in holding for 10 years or more? Based on this, I can tell you what's the right.
Let's say, for example, a person who wants to flip. Yeah.
So we go mainly the most flippable properties are the properties that are towards the beach.
Okay.
Let's be real. So I go look at the building and I see the inventory being released. Always in the same building, you will find few types, that they are different from everything else. So he will be having, let's say in a building of 400, he will have 120, 1 bedroom, 750 square feet, regardless. 2 bedrooms, he will have another 100 units of 1,200 square feet and 3 beds a type. But there will always be a 2 bed, which is 1,400 square feet. This unit is an L shape. It's bigger. It has more views. It's different. It's special. How many units are those in the building? 5. Happy days. Get this unit. Why? You're not competing against anyone. While if you buy the chunk and you're competing with X, Y, Z, that they want to kill each other over 1,000 and 2,000 dirhams, good luck getting out of it.
True. The uniqueness for a flip, the uniqueness is important.
100%.
What about before we go live or we go recording? I was talking about the way of expanding your real estate portfolio was to buy a property, for example, on cash and get an equity from the bank on this property, so you get another one, and through rental you pay the bank. What do you think of this business model for people?
It's beautiful. We're recording, by the way.
Yeah, it's absolutely
Okay.
recording.
So it's beautiful if your interests are 3.5 to 4% tops.
Okay.
However, if you're doing this and you're paying 6 to 7% per year, doesn't really make sense. Most people don't notice this. They will tell you, oh, but my interest is 5% of over how many years? 10 years.
10 years.
And not to mention all of the maintenance and the cost
Service
involved in
charge
it.
and
You're losing a lot, man. If you bought it cash, it would have saved a lot. So I always say it's about the strategy. You're coming for 3 years, 5 years. You're coming for 10 years. What is the strategy? Based on this, you can pick the perfect unit. I am the type of the person. Now I have a huge portfolio in Dubai. It's all fully paid, or the payment is between me and the developer on a post-handover payment plan. So I take the money from my ready properties that I'm leasing it, and I'm letting these properties pay itself.
for-
So I created it without getting to having to
Financial
release
system.
equity from the bank. You know what I mean? So it's still doable and you can do it. You just need a very good broker to go negotiate with that developer to take their soul out for you.
True. And it's possible or not?
Of
like
course
the
it
developers.
is. Of course it is. So many times I went to a developer. It's like, hey buddy, how many units you have? 20. I'll pay you now 20%. You give me the keys, 80%. I will pay it on 5 years. I will take the unit, furnish it, call the team from Prime State. They will set up everything. Start leasing it. From the lease, we pay the installment. And by end of the year, whatever is missing, I'll call the owner, inject the payment. In most cases, I let these owners obtain 10, 20, 30 units by them only paying 40% from the equity and 60% was paid from the tenants. And then if the interest rate is low, then I can call the bank, come over here, buddy,
exactly,
release
Sid, yeah,
equity
true.
and double and triple it for him. But if the interest rate is 6 and 7%, it's okay, no rush, man, chill. It's gonna come
I
again.
love that. I think we will do some things together in this.
With pleasure.
Let's move a little bit to the holiday homes and Airbnb. Why Dubai is so unique and one of the top places in the world, especially for Airbnb versus the long-term rental.
Classified as the top 3 most touristic places in the world. Your airport is the busiest airport. Now it's beating Heathrow and most of the airports. So
And that's why you went into holiday homes? Or
not really. To
not?
be very honest with you, you want to know the story?
Yeah, exactly.
In that year of 2018, when I was smashing sales, me and my friend, we decided to make a Euro trip. So we traveled. The first destination was going to Munich, and from there, just enjoying Europe. Anyway, after Munich, then we did Vienna, then we went to Italy and a few places. We decided from Italy to fly to Cyprus. So we ended up to be in Milan for one night. All of the hotels were fully booked. He looked at me, he's like, what shall we do? I'm like, leave it to me, I'll find something. So I went into Google and started putting daily apartments rent. And then this beautiful icon popped up in my face, Airbnb. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. Even though it's been around from 2011, but we were not exposed to it. Clicked on Airbnb. Oh, okay, beautiful. It was what? 1,200 square feet. 2-bedroom in Milan, and it was for like I cannot recall if it was for 150 euros or 200 euros, and I'm like, it's weird. Anyway, let me try. Worst case scenario, if it's a scam, I will lose 200 euros. Booked it. Some guy came on a Vespa after 15 minutes. Ciao, follow me, followed him, opened the door, here you go, enjoy, and he left. Stayed 2 bedrooms, fully furnished, beautifully furnished. And the central Milan for 200 euro, come on. So I was like, let me look in the same building on the properties, how much is being rented. So I was doing the comparison. I'm like, okay, so it's renting for 2,000 euros per month. There's something. This is a gold mine. This is an untouched gold mine. I looked at him and I was like, I'm starting already his company. And he looked at me, he's like, what do you know about it? I'm like, fuck all.
YouTube is here.
Yeah, same as every other company. I'm gonna do it. He was like, do it. I'm like, okay. So I started studying it and seeing it and the touristic cities and how does it work. And by this 7th December 7, 2018, I applied for the license.
And one of the good things in Dubai that the infrastructure and the regulations support these kind of things, the
Yeah, of
businesses.
course. No, first we were having tough times. Developers were being assholes
Yeah,
about it.
you cannot short
We will not
term.
allow you. We will allow you. And our answer was like, it's not you who allow us or not. It's the Dubai
It's your
tourism.
favor,
No, no,
true.
it's Dubai tourism department.
So you
Me,
had
not
to
you.
fight. So you had to fight for
Course,
that.
man. Yeah. 'Cause we still fight until today because now all of the developers, of course, knowing how greedy they are, they all opened holiday homes company.
True,
You know what
their
I mean?
own, true.
And now if you are dealing with them, it's such an easy process. But if you are a separate company, okay, so you need this much paper and emails from the landlord, and maybe you need message from the skies that please allow this guy to work, and then you work.
But that's your favorite business unit you have?
Always. Listen, I don't care if the market is up or down in real estate. I'm gonna sell anyway. But having a holiday homes is like, it was a little idea that came to me in 2018. And since I left those hotel apartments, I always had it in my heart. And the reason being why I opened the company, it was all the people are making 4 and 5% tops on a yearly. Like, how can I make my investors make 9, 10, 11, 12? It's holiday home. So no matter that any question I had in my head, all of the roads were leading to holiday homes. And the holiday homes made me explode in sales because I was making crazy returns. I was telling people, I'll buy everything for you. You just provide me that 20%, leave it to me. Don't worry, leave it to me. And I was delivering. I wasn't just talking, I was delivering. So holiday homes, to be fair to it, it made me who I am today.
Interesting. Then you moved a little bit and you wrote books. You became an author. What motivated you to write books?
Being bored at home
and the
lockdown. That's how it started. I've never thought about it. So when I was second or third day, 19th or 20th of March, I started writing because I was losing my mind. So I was get the pen and the paper, and I was
because
just
you look like a hustler. You want to always
I want to do movement,
True.
of course. Like once I'm awake, I have to move. I cannot stay in one place. I get bored easily. I need to feel I'm productive, even if I'm playing a game. I just need to make an activity.
So you started writing the book. What are the main theme in the books that you write that you want to deliver to the audience? What's the thing?
I just put all of my tools and techniques that I used to brought me where I am today. I put it in the book. And most people, they were like, oh, how are you giving your secrets? I'm like, buddy, I can give you the formula, but you cannot make my sauce. Let's be very real, you know what I mean? I'll tell you exactly what the ingredients are, but it's not going to affect me. So I let it all go out. And I do believe that knowledge belongs to everyone. We are stuck in this cycle where they're forcing on us, schools and university, that in 90% of the cases they're useless. I'm not talking here if you want to be a doctor or something that's specific, but for the main stuff, it's useless. Nowadays, whatever you want to learn is on Google and on YouTube, again, the biggest maestro in the world. And people need to know. You know, because end of the day, I'm not telling you I have the perfect formula.
Yeah.
All what I'm telling you is like I implemented this ways
and
they worked for me. Now you go and try it. Maybe you need to tweak it. Maybe you need to do something, but it's a verified model. Just take it and do it. And in my books, there is no bullshit. There is no examples. I didn't make it 400 or 500 pages. So people is like seeing the examples back in the 1900, 1800. No, it's like whatever you read, they are golden nuggets. Just implement it. It's a manual, man.
You have 2 books, right? 2 books. The second is about what?
Okay, so Take Charge basically is just like, as I told you, it's all about the tools and techniques that I made. Take Action is super advanced in terms of marketing, in terms of company formation, in terms of the actual corporate.
Is it related to real estate or in general?
It is related to real estate in some part, and other part not. Like for example, so there is a part where I'm talking about ethics, which can be implemented in any business. There is a part where I'm talking about the human brain, how to talk to a left brain, like yourself, how to talk to a right brain, boring as fuck, how to do the front or a back. You know what I mean? So it's like, it doesn't matter what you're selling, what is the product. This is just for you to understand the human mind and the behavior and the character.
What will be the next book then?
It's about holiday homes.
Oh, really?
It's
Yeah.
no secret. It's about
No.
holiday homes. Yeah, it slipped. You know, and on the podcast, I slipped, and I'm like, fuck, I cannot surprise them anymore now.
So it's gonna be about holiday homes,
I'm gonna speak about all of the applications, how to use it,
and it's applicable everywhere in the world, not
everywhere
only
in the
Dubai.
world, because you're using Airbnb, Booking.com, Expedia, Verb, Home Away from Home, all of these portals, so they are all over the world.
Hmm. Do you think anybody can be an entrepreneur, or it's a
Yeah.
What are the
Everyone.
skills? What are the skills needed?
It's not the skills, it's the mindset.
I love that. Can you tell us a little bit more? Because you know it's a fashionable name, and everybody would just want to be an entrepreneur. Just dig it a
You
little
know,
bit.
I've seen this meme. It's so fun. It's like, you know what? I decided I don't want to be an employee working from 9 to 6, so now I work 24/7.
Exactly.
Being an entrepreneur is like basically you are out of the traditional system. The traditional system will tell you to trade an hour of your time for a fee. It can be $2, it can be 20, it can be 100, regardless. I'm saying it very politely, and I don't mean to disrespect anyone. But I mean, you're making the business owner rich. You are not making yourself rich. Each year that you're moving forward, your body is going backward. It's getting tired. Your bones, your mind, your responsibilities, your family, your parents, your
Becomes
kids.
harder.
Everything is coming, and life is getting more expensive year on year. Now, of course, they will give you a raise, still peanuts. This is what you decided to do. And then you will say, okay, you know what? Screw it all. I don't want to work for anyone. I want to create something for myself. This is where God will mold you and shape you, and you're going to get beaten a lot. However, if you believe in what you are doing, regardless of the time and the effort you will put, eventually you will make it. I want to ask you a question. How many multi-millionaire and billionaires butchers you know? How many? And then you have a one guy that's called Salt Bay that he just made this.
The salty.
And how many branches you have now? 60, 70 all over the world. You know what I mean? So it's like it doesn't matter what you're doing.
Nobody expected from a meat guy, a butcher, to this.
Whatever.
True.
I mean, even if whatever you are, just like make sure you're working, you're giving your 150%, you're passionate about it, whether you look weird or not, regardless. It will pay off. And once you create that business, you will start understanding, okay, there is so much more to life than business. There is more of discovering who am I as a person? What's my spirituality? What's my purpose in life? I am here just to make money? No, everyone makes money. And this will hit you that you need to make an impact on the world. You want to start helping. You want to start giving back to your community or even to any community. You need to give back. Just do something that makes people feel good about themselves. And then you start seeing that your blessings are flowing. It's like a river, man. It's not just like
giving.
the money will come to you in so many ways. They will like, what is happening? Chill, it's okay, I'm okay, you know what I mean? But if your main focus coming in and I'm just focused about how much money I'm gonna make, you're gonna be making money, but you're not creating knowledge and wealth and stuff like that. You're just creating funds that you will spend later on.
True.
So it's a huge topic, and I would love to make an episode special on this and explain my philosophy to you.
We will.
I'm just trying to summarize it, that's it.
What is success for you then?
Waking up every day, having the liberty to do whatever the fuck you want to do. So can we swear in here?
Sure, go ahead, yeah.
So this liberty is like, oh, am I feeling I want to work today? I can go to a beach. I can go shoot something. I can, I don't know.
It
go
changed
spend-
over time?
No.
No, it was always like
That's
this. You
success,
want to
man.
reach this.
That's success. Success is like waking up, not following a system. Waking up and saying, what do I feel like doing today? Like how liberating it is for you to wake up. If I don't feel like working, I don't go. If I feel like I want to spend, okay, I'm in Dubai. I woke up today. I'm not feeling I want to work. Maybe, you know what? I miss snow. I'll just book a ticket and fly. Maybe it's cold in here, which rarely happens. I'll go to a warm place. So having that liberty and knowing that you have a clear conscience and you don't owe anyone no money or nothing, you're just clean, light.
True.
This is success, man.
What contributed in you to reach this point?
I will always say that It's on the amount that I invest into knowledge, into learning,
Sacrifices as well, right?
of course, into also reading others people testimonials, into understanding that if someone is being, I don't know, an asshole or having this great ego, he doesn't have money. Because once you have money, you become the most humble person on the planet. If someone is doing this, he just hit his first 100,000.
True.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Knowing the fact that it's okay, like first when you're starting, all what you care about, I'm gonna make money, collect left and right. But once you make it, it's like, okay, but whether you have 1 million, 10 million, 100 million, it's the same shit,
True.
man. What I'm gonna do with it? What changes I'm gonna do? Do I wanna feel like proud of myself? Are my parents proud of me? Are my
True,
friends
fam.
proud
True.
of me? What am I doing in this life? And this is where you start to do some kind of spiritual awakening. You know, you start saying, okay, God, universe, how stuff work. You start getting to be buying different books than you used to buy in the start. You start doing research, and then you will start seeing like, who do I admire in this life, and who do I want to be later on in the next 5 years, 10 years. Because tell you something, you can be a multi-billionaire, but if you're dead inside, you don't have a passion, you don't have a purpose for life, you're doomed. You're gone.
Yeah.
You're gone. You will see yourself aging without you knowing.
I like that you said personal development a lot of times during our conversation. How do you manage it now? You still keep developing yourself on a regular basis. In what areas, in what field?
Listen, I tell you something. I'm still a student until today. This is what I have in me. Like the student mentality. Now I'm sitting with you, you're asking a question, I'm learning how you're looking at me, and I'm learning what is gonna be your counter question. You know what I mean? I'm learning from your crew, from the team, from resetting cameras. So it's like everything I do in life,
To learn.
I'm learning. Because I will never say I'm a maestro. No, maybe I have mastered the category, but it's nothing. Who cares? I need to always be learning
every
to
day.
become a better. I read 4 books a month. Sometimes 3 if the books are too big. I still take online courses. And I pay shitload of money
of
for it, to
course.
be very
Yeah,
honest with you.
true.
It's like whenever I have the opportunity to invite a guest, I listen to them.
Is it a priority for you
Of
with
course.
your busy schedule?
Of course. I need to meet people. It's a must. Even though I meet a lot of people, but most of them during my day, they are not the criteria that I can learn from them. They're actually calling me to learn from me.
True.
But I still invite lots of people, lots of guests to have this talk, to have the podcast.
Do you have habits and routines every day that you do it as a religion
Yeah.
that makes you reach where you are?
Yeah, but I hate it. Don't get me
Of
wrong.
course,
It's not like I
yeah.
like it. I go every day to gym, even though it's the shittiest
Yeah.
task of the day.
Yeah.
Like my happiest moment
When I leave.
I'm stretching and I'm about to leave. I'm like, yay, I'm done with it.
So health.
I do it, again, it's not because I like it, I hate it again, but I do it because it pumps me up in the morning. I don't know why, since I was a kid, I always wake up like I just finished a war. I always wake up with grumpy face, never smiles, you know. Even my mom will tell you he has never smiled in his life in the morning. So I always wake up like that. I have the quick coffee, run to the gym, do my workout, leave. I feel fresh. My mind, the blood is
Ready.
pumping to my brain. I feel, you know, by the time it's 9:30, I feel it's 3 p.m. But others are start dragging from bed.
True.
Also, instead of me opening up Instagram and scrolling who broke up with who did this with who, I go to Google News. I see the news. Why? Because I want to see which country I want to target today. Because once there's a
True.
catastrophe or a blessing in a country,
need
they
to
are
the
potential
opportunity.
clients.
True.
So I start marketing there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good way.
This
Yeah.
is what I do. I follow the news a lot. Also, when I come, I make sure that once I'm stepping in the office, I'm looking at all of the employees without them noticing me, just picking up a vibe. Who has a bad vibe today? Who looks like is about to resign tomorrow? Who looks like just got a financial or family problem? You know what I mean? I always like scan my surroundings.
Your hand on the pulse. You want to see the pulse.
Everything. And it's just, I tell everyone, like, listen, guys, doesn't matter if you've been with me 5 years, 10 years, the second you want to leave, and who will help you. And just now, last week, I said goodbye to my driver. It broke my heart. I've like this guy has been with me for what? Like 15 months. But trust me, seeing him every morning, how he opens the door and smiles, that energy for me was fueling. And he told me, I want to move back to live with my family. And I'm like, with all of the blessings and the prayers for you, man. So it's just like, yeah, because I do believe that we are as good as the people around us. And if you don't take care of your crew, your ship is gonna sink. Yeah. So that's again what I'm telling you. It doesn't matter where you are in life. Stay humble.
True.
Keep working like nothing happened. It's just like a volume of
Question:
money.
did you learn this from mistakes you did or not?
No.
You've been
It's
always like
just
this.
always like me. 'Cause I'll tell you something. All of my life, I hated people that they have this.
Snobby and
Yeah, I've never liked it. I'm like, I always liked chill people that just like have fun, make jokes, enjoy a good time, appreciate each other, and that's it. So yeah, this is my character. You will never see me as like, man, I'm down the street, people will come to me, talk to me. I will never be an asshole to anyone. And if I'm busy, I'll tell them thanks a lot,
Later,
but
yeah.
forgive me. I'm
need to
about to
run.
meet someone, always nice to people, because end of the day, what you gonna take with you except your legacy?
Exactly, nothing.
It's your legacy. You wanna be
True.
remembered as the asshole, or you wanna be remembered as the nice guy? You
True.
pick.
What's your biggest lesson? We don't lose money. We learn from losing the money. But what is the biggest lesson you learned so far?
Biggest lesson. I learned a lot of lessons, man. Life taught me a lot. Actually, I started learning after finishing university.
Yeah.
Before that, I was feeling
But
I'm
through a
learning.
mistake, through a big loss.
It's kind of dilemma. So, okay, I'm a nice person. But if someone tries to screw with me, I can destroy them. But I always have this battle in me. Shall I destroy them or just leave them? Before, I used to fight a lot. But I reached down a period in my life by knowing that if they lose me, they lost.
True.
Their attendance or presence in my life was bringing me nothing but headache. And now they are gone. They're
Your
bringing me
peace.
peace. There is nothing more valuable than the peace of mind. Again, you wake up in the morning, thank God,
True.
pray, appreciate, and go do whatever you want. So, in order for someone to be really on the road or the path of success, they need to have that peace of mind. So when you treat people, treat them with respect. Treat your clients like you treat your parents. I didn't say family.
Yeah.
You can be an asshole to a cousin,
true,
right?
True.
But your mother and father,
No, true.
chill.
True.
Never buy something you will never sell something you will not buy yourself. This is my second principle. And in life, what I'm telling you now, if it doesn't bring you peace or happiness, let it go. Whatever it is, human, relationship, car,
True.
whatever. If
True.
it doesn't bring you peace and happiness, let it go.
Do you have a hidden talent or skill that nobody knows? Nobody knows.
I'm a visionary. I can see the future. No, actually, yeah, I have it in me. Like, whatever I say happens.
Okay. It's been like this.
It's been like this for almost 5 years. I see stuff coming. It's not like I create a scenario in my head, but it's like when something happens, I will tell them, okay, in a week this will happen, in a month this will happen, the fall will be in 3 months. It actually
It's
happens.
because of your guts from the experience that you passed through.
I just like, I can tell what's gonna happen. I have this gift. It's not like I close my eyes as a fortune teller and tell you after 2 days, you're gonna find a bag in the street, you'll open this $10 million. No. But I'll tell you, like, events happen that I can tell immediately
What's coming
7
next.
or 10 steps what's behind it. That's
From your
it.
guts, the experience that you passed, I believe so.
Yeah.
What do you have goals for yourself coming forward? What after you reach? What's your aspirations afterwards, your goals?
What a question, man. What a question. So I'm about to finish my first decade in business. And I say, okay, now I made the news. My second decade, and I want to make history. But don't ask me how, because I don't even know myself. But this is the goal. This is what's going to happen. I don't want just to exist on this planet. I want to be the guy who started his life at 30, that the odds were not even with him from his beginning. I was born in the Civil War. I have lived the first 8 years of my life in a basement, hearing women and children crying. The only time that we could have went outside is when there was a ceasefire for a few hours, that I would have go and played. You know what was the game? Collecting bullet shells. You know, when we come back in the basement, what happened? Your moms will kick your ass. Stay
Right
away
away.
from this. It will kill you. That was my childhood. And when this finished, I was 8 years old. When the war finished, my parents decided to go to a divorce. That was even a worse time, and that was for me being lost. And by the age of 12, I kind of started rebelling on myself and on everyone around me. I wanted to show people I am bad so people don't hurt me. That's it. It was a kind of my self-defense, nothing else. So I lived life, and by the age of 15, I was driving. I had a car by the age of 15. I went to university. I was the youngest kid in university. I was 16 and a half. I graduated, I was 20 in double major, and I still never liked anything in it. And even when I was in university, and then I have the economy professor coming in, I've never looked at him. I'm like, man, you're teaching me economy. All of what you're wearing is $20. How come you're teaching me economy? You need someone to teach you economy. If you're coming grumpy as fuck in the school, how can you teach me? You're not even inspired. How can you inspire me? I've never fit in. Never. That's it. And that's how I lived my life. And I went down the mud to reach Dubai. And when I reached Dubai, also I went to mud to reach here. And now it's like I'm telling people, like, wallah, everything is possible. Like, everything is possible. But if your surrounding is 5 broke, of course you're gonna be the 6. Just change your surrounding, change your mentality, change everything. We are given one life. You wanna live it a slave to a system that is teaching you how to be a slave and just pay your bills and eat and die, or you just want to create a legacy and make history. You pick.
You know, I loved it because I wanted to ask a question to close the episode, but I think you closed it in a very nice way. But if you want to summarize it and say, what is the last message you want to leave the audience with, would be what?
Tell you what, I've been recently seeing a lot of hate on the internet. This is shit, this is bullshit, you know, and you're a phony, you're a scammer, whatever. And it reminds me of myself back in the days. I'm like, I used to spend the same exact amount of time on the internet by learning. And you know how much it's gonna take you to be angry at someone and just to write this. So instead of you coming to a person and hating them, spend the same amount of money and learn something on the internet, make money and become better than them. And maybe one day you will have the opportunity to teach people. And there's nothing more noble than teaching a person and giving him a life. So be this exactly, spend the same time, but on something useful, not on hate.
Love that.
This is one of the ideas. Number 2, as I told you, just like how people are treating each other, it should change. It's like if I'm talking to a doctor, I have to talk to them with respect. But if I'm talking to anyone from the laborers, I'm allowed to disrespect nobody. We are all born the same. All men or women are equal by birth.
You know, that's the first time you speak to me and don't look into my eyes while you're saying this
I'll
particularly.
tell you what, because it's kind of choking me. To be very honest with you, it's like we are all born equal. Now, lately, we got to learn that we are all equal under the law, but if you follow the news, no, we're not all equal. They're classifying us by passports, by nationality, and by who we know. Still, people need to be nicer to each other, because like if someone is poor, regardless of who they are or their nationality, they must be going through difficulties. There must be someone sick in the family and they cannot even provide the medicine. Why you're adding on it, man? Try to make them smile. Tell him you look today good. You smell good. You must have got a new perfume. Even if he smells like shit, man, make him smile.
True.
Be easy to people. Just chill. You know what I mean?
Love that.
Chill.
I love that. A very nice closing. But before we close, we have a tradition. Okay.
I want to name 5 people I like. I don't like anyone.
No. Be nice to people. Be nice to people. So we have this Alpha Talks memoir. Here, the Alpha guest write 3 things.
I have the same notebook, by
No
the way.
way.
In the car, I swear by God. And this is where I put all of my yearly goals and all
no
of my
way.
stuff. Yeah.
It's a memoir here. So you need to write what's your experience in the Alpha Talks podcast. You need to ask a question to the next Alpha guest, whatever question you think or you have. And the third one, who do you think can be an Alpha guest that you recommend that will really add value to our audience?
Okay.
So are you ready that I ask you the question?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Oh my, it's an easy one. What's your favorite song?
I made it my way.
It's a super lovely answer to a lovely closing. Anthony, it was really a pleasure
Thank
having
you
you
for
today.
having me.
It's an
I love your
amazing
podcast.
talk,
Thank you.
amazing conversation coming from the heart, a lot of wisdom, a lot of value. And of course, we'll have another one.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you
anytime.
very much.
Thank
I
you for
appreciate it.
having
Thank
me.
you.
Thank you.
That wraps another inspiring episode of today's show. I hope that this episode has ignited your inner alpha and left you feeling inspired, motivated, and ready to conquer any challenge that comes your way. Remember, alphas aren't born, they're made. It isn't about dominating others, it's about embracing your authenticity, leading with integrity, and making a positive impact on the world. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to the Alpha Talks on your favorite podcast platform. Leave us a review and share the podcast with your fellow alphas. Also connect with us on social media at SEIF Al-Hakim. Share your thoughts, insight, and stories of personal and business growth with us. Let's create a movement of alphas supporting one another. The world needs more alphas like you exactly. Until next time, stay bold, stay driven, and stay alpha.